As any gamer will tell you, playing like this is most likely going to be your experience when you start any game. However, selecting the right weapons might take you from this to this. In today's video, I'm going to give you 5 weapons that are going to help you dominate any gunfight. From a slow rate of fire weapon to a straight up slaughter machine. So what I'm going to do in this video is go through each of the 5 weapons, briefly discuss their attachments, and then we're going to go into the firing range, and I'm going to shoot the weapon so you can see its natural recoil. Then I'm going to shoot into this panel and I'm going to try and control the recoil so that you can see what that looks like. So first will be uncontrolled recoil and second will be controlled recoil. Then I'm going to do some target practice so you see how the weapon performs over certain distances, and then I'm taking it into the battlefield. The first weapon we'll be looking at is the AK-74. This is actually the only weapon I got over 100 kills with. It's super reliable and stable. We will quickly go through the attachments I use on the AK-74. For the scope, I use the prism on all my weapons. It gives a nice and clear view of your opponents. For the rails on this weapon, I add whatever I can to improve on the stats. You can play around on these to get the best feel for your weapon. This is just what I chose. For the barrel, there is only one option. I use the DTK muzzle brake and the mini hand stop foregrip. The rest is pretty much straightforward. This is the natural recoil of the weapon. Here I am controlling the recoil. The AK-74 has a slower rate of fire but very good recoil control. It performs at its best when an opponent is mid-range. It loses its potency, however, over long distances, as you will see. Let's look at some mid-range gunfights. The ranges here is where the AK-74 performs at its best. It can feel sluggish at times compared to other weapons in this list. What I also like about this weapon is its reload time. It's quite fast, so you're at a lower risk of getting shot while reloading. Over long distances, the recoil still performs really well, but bullet velocity decreases. You can tell that it takes much longer to kill an enemy. But overall, it's a good weapon for a beginner. The next weapon is the CI-19, which you will unlock pretty early on in Delta Force. Again, my scope is the Prism x2 zoom and I have an offset scope that I don't use nearly enough. The weapon has a ton of rails to attach, but I attach the ones to give me high accuracy and then an average rating overall. I use the FFC double port muzzle brake and competition foregrip. This weapon has plenty to choose from, but I prefer this. This is what I use for the rear grip and stock. This is the natural CI-19 recoil. This is me controlling the recoil. There right at the end you can see me slowly getting used to it. Close and mid-range, this weapon bangs. It's over long distances that the recoil and power affects the efficiency of the weapon. And this is how the CI-19 performs during gameplay. We will look at mid-range first. So far you can see this weapon is very effective and has a good firing rate. Not too slow or too fast. Perfectly suitable to kill multiple opponents on one magazine, but not so fast that you have to constantly reload. What I also like is the reload speed of the weapon. It doesn't take so much time that an opponent can close in on you while reloading. It's over long distances that the CI-19 doesn't perform that well. I am, however, not the best shooter, but I have more success with other weapons at this range. It does just enough damage to allow your opponents to hide. The AOG is a super solid weapon. It's only available when you play the Engineer, but I highly recommend it. If you look at the attachment, it doesn't have that many options. This weapon is pretty much standard at its highest upgrade. Just add what you can to improve the stats. Once again, this is the natural recoil. And this is me controlling it. As you can see, very easy to control. It's mainly because of my aim that I'm missing the long shots. This is a really powerful weapon on any range, as you will see. If you are on target, your enemy can't do much. On long distance, the recoil affects the accuracy, but that's the case on all weapons. But with the AOG, I've gotten some good kills over 80 meters. It's got a good rate of fire, but a slightly slower reload speed than the previous weapons. If you face multiple enemies, this is a great weapon to have. I'm having a hard time to decide which of the last two weapons I prefer using the most. They are both fantastic options. I will start with the M4A1. What I like about this weapon is the amount of attachments you can use to upgrade the weapon to your liking. I have the prism scope with an offset scope for the closer ranges. You will notice that it has 5 rails, so you can adjust this weapon to suit your fight style. This is just what I have. The only attachments that I'm still experimenting with is the rear grip and stock. Do I want a stock kit or the way it is now? I am not sure yet. You need to find the one you prefer. This is its natural recoil. As you can see, it does slightly veer to the left and right, which is hard to control. But the controlled recoil is pretty spot on. My aiming, on the other hand, is not so good. This is one of my favorite maps, by the way. These guys are over 200 meters away for reference. With a different scope, maybe I'd stand a chance to take them out. Mid-range, this weapon's fast rate of fire is very effective, and with good recoil control, this is a deadly close and mid-range weapon. On long distances, I'm finding it harder to be accurate, but these guys are about 70 meters away and I got a few of them. The reload on this weapon is a bit slow, so tactically you have to move smart. In terms of precision shooting, few do it better than the M4A1. It takes a bit of time to get used to it, but when you do, it's a very good weapon. The SG552 has one of the fastest rates of fire of any weapon in this game. Let's have a quick look at my current loadout. When I initially unlocked this weapon, I didn't like it because it had a 20 round magazine only. And with a fast rate of fire, I felt like I needed to reload after every enemy. But my advice to you, stay patient and unlock the 30 round magazine. It's well worth it. With the right attachments, this thing is a death machine. This is the only weapon in this list that shoots out its full magazine without going out of the panel. This is controlled recoil. The last target is set at 100 meters and the SG552 gets it quite comfortably. With that said, let's jump straight into some gameplay clips. We will do close and mid-range first, then we will see how it performs over longer distances. This gun does serious damage. All you need to do is actually shoot on target. The only drawback of this weapon is its reload time. While facing multiple enemies and you need to reload, it gives your enemy time to make a move. So when you reload, make sure you have cover or an exit plan. The SG552 makes open long shots light work. However, shooting anyone from this angle and with a mountain protecting them is extremely hard. Even if the footage doesn't show 100% how good it is, you can trust that it is. Going from hipfire into ADS is nearly instant as well, making this weapon perfect for fast play and taking out multiple targets. The best advice I can give you is start with the AKS-74 or the CI-19 until you get a good feel for the game and until you unlock the AOG, M4A1 and the SG552. For accuracy and a slightly more patient playstyle, I'd recommend the AKS-74 for its stability. For a less aggressive playstyle, the AKS-74 is perfect. The CI-19 is a very smooth weapon with good handling. Close to mid-range, this gun is really good. It handles well and has good power. It's only on the longer distances that it starts to struggle. The AOG is a good overall weapon. I wouldn't say it's outstanding in any area, but it covers everything you need. With the Engineer, the movement is a bit slower, so having the AOG, which is mobile, helps you keep gun movement swift. It also deals good damage and can be used comfortably from close ranges to long range. The M4A and the SG552 are weapons that feel very similar. Both have a faster rate of fire than the other weapons, and both have very good recoil control. Where I would say the SG552 outperforms the M4A1 is the longer distance shots. The SG remains more stable, whereas the M4A1 starts to show its slightly more aggressive recoil. My advice to you would be to stick to 1 or 2 weapons max. This is to give yourself time to get used to the handling and the recoil of the weapon. For you to become good at this game, movement and aiming should become muscle memory. This way you also unlock more attachments sooner. So there you have my top 5 weapons for beginners. Start with the AKS or the CI-19 until you unlock more versatile weapons like the M4A and SG552. And of course, the overall well-performing AOG. Thank you all for watching. I hope this video was helpful. Let me know in the comments which weapon is your favorite. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, or if you want to see more content like this from me, you are welcome to subscribe. Take care everyone and happy gaming.